Hi, it's Tuesday and welcome to our daily video blog. Today we have not just one but two guest speakers for you. The theme today basically is around Buckinghamshire businesses and how they're responding to the COVID crisis, and we've got two quite interesting but slightly different case studies. One is the Gorcott Fields Community Solar Panels, what's called a CIC, and we've got Gabi Mallet, who's their chairman, and she's going to be talking about what they've been doing and how they've been actually donating money to some really good causes within the county. And then we've actually got a local business that's moved effectively from being a retail shop to being an online business. We've got Jim McKellar from the Orchard View Farm in Dinton, which is up in the north of the county, to explain how easy it is for some of our companies to move from being effectively a physical shop to being a virtual presence online, and how that's really helped to keep his business going. So I think two very interesting speakers there. Just before we get into that, I also just wanted to say something about the topic that's probably the biggest issue currently in my email box, and that's the reopening of our household waste sites. A lot of people are now emailing me about this. Lots of people are saying there's been an increase in fly tipping and so on. Let me be very frank with you. I mean, we had to close them initially because we had issues to do with social distancing. Too many people crowding into the site too close together. But having closed them, we've been looking at reopening them now for a number of weeks. The problem we've got is that they are not shown on Home Office guidance as being categorised as essential travel. So there's a real risk, although we are now ready to reopen with appropriate social distancing on site. If we were to do so, the police, Thames Valley Police, have informed us that anybody found journeying to a household waste site wouldn't be deemed to be doing essential travel. And there is the risk that the resident would actually be fined. They could be stopped and fined. Now, we can't have the contradiction, effectively, of a council saying you can go and then the police saying you can't. So we've been flagging this with our local MPs, and we are now told there should be some guidance on this, effectively reconciling those two positions, hopefully within the week. And as soon as that's out, we are now poised, hopefully within a couple of days, to reopen those sites. And I'd like that to happen as quickly as possible. So that's an update for you on that situation. So having said that, what I'd like to do now is hand over to the first of our guests, who's Gabi. And Gabi, tell us a little bit about your solar panel business and some of the really good work you've been doing and benefiting the local community with some funding.
Oh, hi. So I'm Gabi Mallet. I'm a director of a community-owned solar photovoltaic farm on the outskirts of Buckingham in a place called Gorcott. It's quite a big farm. It's 4.17 megawatts, which is sufficient to power about 1,000 homes. So every year we get paid for the sustainable energy that we generate. And with that money, we pay the interest on our bank loans and what have you. We pay our bondholders, who are local people. We have a little contingency fund in case something goes wrong. And we pay for the maintenance and monitoring of the farm. And then we have a surplus, which we pay into community projects. So over the, well, hopefully 30-year lifespan of the project, that will amount to about £2 million. So it's less in the first years and then more in subsequent years. So we pay for the National Energy Foundation to provide an energy advice project for the surrounding area, helping people with energy bills, switching supplier, finding insulation to reduce energy use and things. And that's been going for 3 years. Then in the first year, we also supported some sports clubs, local sports clubs. Last year, we supported young children, projects around the area. And although we wouldn't have launched the grant scheme until later in the year, obviously coronavirus happened and we thought, is there something that we can do that would support community, particularly community groups who are going to be worse affected because of the virus. So we started off obviously with the food bank. We knew they were going to be hit hard. The next grant we gave was to the young carers. Obviously children not going to school, but also being stuck at home looking after other people. And then we started having some applications from schools. So Buckingham Secondary School, we've provided a platform, piece of software that will help people help the children access GCSE resources. And it's quite clever because it can track what they're doing and how well they're doing. Roundwood School in Gorcott, we've also made a grant to them, which is also for software. George Grenville School in Buckingham, they made an application. They said a lot of their children didn't have access, internet access or the right hardware to access all of these things. So we've provided workbooks for them to work through on their own at home, and they can pass them in and be marked by the teachers. So far we've made grants of £8,883. We've got a little bit left, but we're not sort of pushing for more applications because we're saying actually we don't know how long this is going to go on and we don't know whether it's going to get worse. But yeah, we're really pleased.
Thanks, Gabby. That was really good. And I think those schools are really going to benefit from some of the funding you've enabled them to have. Our second guest, as I said earlier, is actually Jim McKellar. He's from the Orchard View Farm in Dinton, and he's going to talk a little bit about getting online from having a physical shop to having a virtual shop. Jim, over to you.
Thank you, Martin. So my name's Jim McKellar. I'm the proud owner of Orchard View Farm. So it's a small family-run farm with a farm shop, cafe, butchery, sort of takeaway and restaurant, nestling at the foot of the Chiltern Hills, just near Prince's Risborough. So coronavirus has affected us as a business significantly. The cafe was about 70% of my turnover, and that was closed overnight. So I had some tough business decisions to make. And the decision we made was, rather than furlough staff, which I couldn't really actually afford to do, was to actually take the business online. So within 36 hours, we'd gone online, which is terrifying, especially as we had to shut the website after 7 hours due to the fact that we'd done about £6,000 worth of business. Bear in mind, we hadn't actually trained the staff, hired enough staff to then fulfill these orders that had come in. So we had to reopen the website very, very quickly, but we had to then design all the processes and train the staff on the fly. I can only liken the experience to jumping off a cliff and having to build the plane on the way down. Highly exciting, very terrifying, and certainly got a few more grey hairs because of it. But I think we've got a new business here as well. So I mean, we've maintained the shop. We have kept the shop open with social distancing, which is really important. And we've just launched a takeaway business as well now. So we did a little bit of takeaway before, but we have got a wood burning pizza oven and barbecues and things like that. So we're now developing the offering. My whole thing is that I keep my wonderful staff employed, because a lot of them rely on me to pay the rent, keep their families and get food on the table. So I can't walk away from them. There's also the community side of it as well. We're doing a lot of home deliveries, not just to people who are self-isolating or having to self-isolate, but we're doing that. We're also doing next day click and collect as well. So we're trying to cater for people who don't want to go to the supermarket. So my little farm shop is now not a little farm shop. It is now quite a large farm shop. I'm now stocking products that I never ever thought I would stock. I stock loo rolls. I stock fabric softener. All of these things that used to be part of my sales spiel at the supermarkets, because I don't stock them. I now do. And that's just to provide a basket of goods for my customers. We're delivering to quite a wide area. So we're delivering out as far as High Wycombe, Aylesbury, Tame, Hadnam, Prince's Risborough, all of the surrounding villages. And I think that's a business that's going to stay afterwards. I certainly hope it is anyway. So yes, we've been sort of helping lots of people. There's lots of other businesses that we're starting to partner with, local suppliers who have essentially lost their outlets, be those the pubs and restaurants. So we're now having to sell more of their products, and which is good. So I think it's actually changed my business for the better. I'm more diversified. I have got a greater turnover as well now, and that is with keeping prices very low indeed, and we're not gouging on the prices at all. Some items I'm even having to sell at a loss, just because prices have gone up. But it's very important that we're here for the community, and I'm building a much stronger customer base for my business for the upcoming deep dark recession that is coming along. So I've got to build that for resilience. So yes, I think it has changed the business for the better. And the things that we need to do in the future to keep the sort of like the economy going, certainly the local economy, is more people need to shop locally. And the reason for saying you need to shop locally is for every pound you spend with somebody like myself, approximately 90 pence of your pound stays within the local economy. If you go to the large multiples, that can be as low as 7 pence in the economy, in the pound that actually stays in the local economy. So shopping locally has tremendous benefits for the local businesses, because I spend my money locally, my staff spend their money locally as well. So that's the garages, the hairdressers, and so on. So very, very important. But we are going to need the support of the council in this. And we need a unified approach from the council with regards to helping us to do that. My business needs to expand rapidly, but I don't feel safe that I can do that at the moment with the potential hurdles that are going to be put in front of me from the council's point of view. And in particular, I'm talking about the planning system. The planning system needs to get on board very, very quickly with what we're doing. It needs to be more dynamic, and it needs to be supportive. It needs to be collaborative. If we are to succeed out here in this challenging time and going forward, we need to work together, and we need to succeed because of each other, not in spite of each other. And that's really sort of like my message. But also I'd like to say, I appreciate I'm going over time here a little bit. Going online is the key to a lot of businesses these days, and we need to do it quickly, and it's actually not that difficult to do. There's a lot of packages that businesses can go online very quickly. I'm happy to give my details. I'm happy to provide my details to Martin for those businesses who want to contact me afterwards. So I can just give you a little bit of my experiences and hopefully waylay some of the fears that you have to actually going online, because it seems daunting, but actually you can do it. We did it within 36 hours. And I'd say do it. There's opportunities aplenty out there, even in this time of crisis. And for those who want to go for it, I would say definitely do it. So Martin, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm going to hand back to you.
Thanks, Jim. That's some really good information there about how to get from being a physical bricks, if you like, business into being a virtual business. And again, some contact information about how people can learn from your experience. Just in conclusion, one of the things that occurred to me this morning, having been talking with my wife earlier, is that there's quite a lot of publicity around at the moment about some of the frustration, the anxiety and stress you can feel from having been effectively confined to your house for now nearly 7 weeks. Just to remind you that there is a lot of advice available online. Healthy Mind Bucks, you can just Google, and there's some really good tools and techniques there for helping you if you are feeling particularly anxious or stressed at the moment. So that help is available. So having said that, again, as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Keep well, keep safe, and see you then.